Chapter 2. 500 years have passed, and it is time for the responsibilities of death to be transferred to another soul. Death had just delivered her last soul, a soul of an old man, to the hall of justice, where his life will be audited and his good and bad deeds will be calculated. According to his final credit points, he will be sent to hell for purification or will be assigned a job. Or maybe he will be directly sent to the Garden of Eden. In most cases, young souls are the ones who are assigned with various tasks, and old souls who have lived a long life on earth and have done enough work already are sent to the Garden of Eden, where they rest in peace with their long departed loved ones for eternity. As Death was coming out of the hall, she heard a calm voice speaking from the back of her ears. The voice was joy giving. Death felt a cool breeze on her face. The voice said, "It is time, my child." She was filled with joy and happiness. She knew that the Lord, the Creator of all, had spoken to her. The joy of hearing God's voice exceeded the joy of finally being able to go to the land of the final rest, the Garden of Eden. "Thank you, my Lord," she said, as she felt a hand on her shoulder. A bright white light filled her surrounding, and she was gone. A new soul was assigned to be the new Death. He was a young man who had dreams of becoming a movie star and was a really good actor too. But when his time came, he had to leave his life behind along with his dreams. When he died, he was heartbroken like anyone would be. But all his sadness turned into joy when he was judged as a righteous man. He was happy that although he couldn't be a successful actor, he was successful as a human being in front of the Lord Almighty. Now, to be Death, there was not much in the job description. Firstly, you always had to be on time, never late, never early. Secondly, once a soul is collected, that soul had to be brought straight to the hall of justice. No stops in between. These two were the only rules that were given to him. The boy felt honored being given such a great responsibility and did his job with utmost dedication and sincerity. For 200 years, he delivered souls without fail. He did all that he could in the best way possible. But the job had started to take its toll on him. Nobody likes death. Nobody likes dying. Almost every soul he transferred used to blame him and God, of course, for their death, for taking away their chance to fulfill their dreams, for having to leave their loved ones behind, for coming without a prior intimation, like a long term uncurable sickness, or maybe an email. People were never happy. People always said that death was wrong to have come for them and that they could have accomplished so much if he hadn't. But death was always silent. Never for once did he turn to them or responded to any of their comments or questions. Although he never talked, but he was getting frustrated by all this hatred. After all, 200 years is a long time for anyone, even for death himself. He was frustrated. He used to think, why do I do this? Nobody likes me. I have done my job with utmost dedication, but I have never heard a single good thing being said about me or about the job I do. Why do people even have to die? Is it just to maintain the population? If that was the case, why kill the young? Why not fix death for only the old people? From time to time, he tried to talk to God about it, but he couldn't find him. You see, God sure is omnipresent, that is, he is present everywhere, but still, to see him, it has to be your time to see him, because you can never know the time and the hour that he comes, even when you are dead. So, eventually, he got so sad that he decided to quit his job. It was a difficult decision for him because when people are alive, they pray and meditate and do almost all that they can to figure out what God had planned for them. And there he was, planning to quit a job that God Himself had assigned him to do. He thought and prayed to God to at least once talk to Him or appear before Him even for a moment so that he could see Him, and all his stress and worries will be overtaken by God's peace and calm. If nothing else, with that peace, he could be able to do his job for a few more 100 years. But never once he saw him, neither did he hear his voice. I can't do this anymore. Today is my last day. Once I stop collecting souls, maybe God will talk to me, or at least send someone I could talk to, he thought, while he looked at the sun rising on the way to earth to collect a soul.